Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent, your narrator for tonight. It's a pleasure to have you here with me as we embark on another tranquil journey through the world of sleep stories. Enveloped in a world far away from the hustle and bustle, these soothing narratives are crafted to guide you gently into a serene slumber. Tonight's episode, A Slow Journey on the Night Train, offers a comforting escape into a realm where time slows and the gentle rhythm of a train lulls you into tranquility. In tonight's story, you'll join a traveler as they board an old-fashioned night train. With each softly creaking timber and rhythmic chug of the engine, the world outside the window blurs into a watercolor of moonlit landscapes. Our traveler will find solace in the soft glow of carriage lights and the quiet companionship of fellow night wanderers. As the train weaves through the countryside, secrets of the starry sky unfold, carrying whispers of forgotten tales and far-off dreams. As we prepare to delve into this calming story, I'd love to hear from you. Do you have a favorite sleep story that transports you to a place of perfect peace? Perhaps there's a detail you cherish or a sound that soothes your senses. Feel free to share your thoughts and experiences with our community. These glimpses into calming memories are always cherished. If you enjoy our travels together and wish to hear more sleep stories like tonight's, I encourage you to subscribe to this series. By doing so, you'll be gently reminded of new adventures, ready for you whenever you need some peaceful storytelling to wind down. Now let's ease into a moment of relaxation before our journey begins. Gently close your eyes and draw a deep breath in through your nose, feeling the air fill your lungs with warmth. Hold it for a moment, embracing the stillness, and then slowly release through your mouth, letting go of any tension. Repeat this a couple more times, each breath a wave washing over the shore of your mind, smoothing any lingering thoughts. As your breathing steadies and your heart calms, imagine yourself standing on a platform beneath a domed sky scattered with stars. The night train awaits, a dim, amber glow inviting you in. Now, allow the story to unfold as we step aboard and let the gentle sway of the carriage guide us further into the night. Rest easy as your journey begins. A soft mist settled like a gentle blanket over the sleepy village of Winmere, where the night train prepared to depart to destinations unknown. The little station, with its quaint brick facade and vintage sign, stood as a timeless sentinel amid the quiet countryside. Flickering gas lamps cast a warm glow upon the wooden platform, illuminating the travelers who were slowly gathering for the journey ahead. Among them, a young man named Ethan arrived, clutching a modest suitcase. His face was a portrait of calm curiosity, mixed with a hint of anticipation. Ethan loved the idea of night trains, the romance of travel through the darkened hours, the rhythmic lullaby of wheels on tracks. This journey was a chance to let his mind wander, to escape the hustle of his everyday life. Nearby, an elderly couple stood side by side, their scarves entwined like the roots of old trees. Margaret and Albert had taken this particular train many times before, each journey adding another chapter to their shared story. Their eyes sparkled with unspoken memories, and they exchanged a knowing smile as the train whistle called out like an invitation to adventure. New to the village and the train, a woman named Clara clutched a wicker basket, the scent of fresh lavender emanating from the folds of a cloth napkin within. She appeared serene, her gaze tracing the path of the stars that began to twinkle in the velvet sky. Clara harbored a hidden longing for change, for something unfamiliar and refreshing that this slow journey might reveal. As the departure time drew nearer, the station master's voice gently echoed through the cool night air, announcing the imminent arrival of the train. His call was met with the soft shuffle of feet as passengers gathered their possessions and slowly moved toward the edge of the platform. The night train turned in a graceful whisper, its elegant cars polished to a mirror sheen under the dim lights. The hiss of steam and the rhythmic clanking of shifting gears accompanied the descent of the conductor, who tipped his cap in greeting. A sense of camaraderie and shared purpose enveloped the travelers, binding them in the shared excitement of what lay ahead. With practiced care, Ethan climbed aboard and found a seat by a window. The interior of the car was dimly lit, inviting and cozy, with plush seats that promised comfort for the journey. Margaret and Albert settled across from him, exchanging nods of acknowledgement. Clara chose a spot not far away, the lavender fragrance trail she left behind adding to the atmosphere's soothing charm. As the train's final call echoed, the night hummed with a quiet, anticipatory energy. The gentle jolt of departure signaled the beginning of the journey as they eased into the comforting rhythm of steel upon steel. Outside the window, the landscape began to slide past in a serene blur, the dark outlines of trees and hills softened by the gentle moonlight. The night deepened, wrapping the train in a cocoon of serenity as it glided through the countryside. Stars hung like shimmering jewels against the midnight sky, their brilliance undiminished by the soft, ambient glow cast from the train's windows. The passengers settled into their seats, contented murmurs and the rustle of pages breaking the comforting silence that enveloped them. Ethan watched the world slip past his window, trees and fields becoming indistinct shadows. He found peace in the sameness of the scenery, each mile drawing him further away from the demands of his day. His thoughts meandered like the gentle curves of the railway, weaving tales of possibilities, hopes, and dreams. Albert leaned back in his seat, his head resting against the soft cushion. He closed his eyes as the rhythm of the train lulled him into a restful state, the motion familiar and soothing, like the rocking of a boat upon gentle waves. Margaret, by his side, occupied herself with a novel, the pages turning with a quiet, rhythmic flip. The warmth of shared presence surrounded them like a cherished blanket. Clara gazed out at the darkened landscape with quiet wonder, her fingers tracing the edge of her basket. The lavender within held a promise of tranquility, its fragrance a gentle reminder of home and comfort. Though her journey held an air of mystery, Clara felt an unexpected sense of belonging among her fellow travelers, a thread of connection that eased her soul. The train rolled past villages where sleepy lights twinkled like fireflies in the night. Fields under cultivation sprawled out under the silvered glow of moonlight, wrapped in the embrace of the starlit sky. A fox darted from the edge of a hedge, its silhouette a fleeting shadow against the tapestry of the night. In its own way, the journey on the night train was a celebration of subtle wonders that often go unnoticed. The understated beauty of a quietly flowing river, the soft rustle of autumn leaves caught in the breeze, the gentle hum of crickets playing an age-old lullaby. And as the train chugged along, these elements became part of the tapestry woven from dreams and aspirations, stories and reflections. The steady pulse of the train seemed to sync with the heartbeats of those aboard, their individual stories quietly merging for the duration of this shared journey. Each passenger carried their own hopes and reflections, their own desires for where this slow passage through the night might lead. In the gentle embrace of the night train's journey, time seemed to stretch and fold in harmonious cycles, allowing each traveler to slip effortlessly away from the busyness of the day. The landscape passed by in an organic dance with the dreams and musings of the passengers, merging seamlessly into the depths of the starry night. Outside the window, the landscape unfurled like a slowly turning page of an ancient book, the night breeze carrying tales from the trees and whispers from the wind. The sound of the train gently rolling along its iron path was like the quiet hum of a lullaby, soothing passengers into a state of restful tranquility. Ethan found himself captivated by the subtle shifts in scenery, where groves of trees stood sentinel beside the gleaming tracks, their branches swaying gently as if they were acknowledging the passage of this nocturnal traveler. The moonlight cast long shadows that danced gracefully upon the gently undulating fields, blending with the rhythm of the train's passage. Margaret, moments between chapters, folded her hands quietly in her lap and gazed at Albert's serene expression. Even in the quiet of shared moments, she felt the weight of the years they had spent together, a beautiful accumulation of shared experiences and quiet companionship. Her heart swelled with gratitude for this beloved journey partner, each trip a precious thread woven into the tapestry of their life together. From her window seat, Clara let out a contented sigh, closing her eyes briefly to better appreciate the sounds around her. The gentle whispers of the wind, the soft rustle of trees, and the murmured conversations of fellow passengers becoming part of the symphony of the night. Her thoughts touched upon cherished memories, while simultaneously anticipating what awaited her at the end of this journey. The train raced past hedgerows and silent ponds, the occasional farmhouse nestled under swathes of starlit sky. It was a real-life painting, vast and unfathomable, yet somehow intimate under the touch of moonlight. The night itself seemed a character in their story, a blanket of stars wrapping around travelers, drawing them deeper into the mysteries of the world beyond their windows. As the train included a whiff of song from a distant nightingale, Ethan wondered about the stories and landscapes they passed unseen. Each town and hamlet had its own history, its unique tales waiting patiently to be told. He pictured small fires glowing gently in the hearths of the homes they passed, lives wrapping families in shared warmth and stories. The night deepened, painted in shades of inky blue and velvet black, the sky punctuated by the shimmer of endless stars. It felt as though, in this almost timeless passage, the passengers were granted a secret glimpse into the world's sleeping heart. Each moment stretched, suspended in mystery and magic, speaking in a language known only to those who traveled under starlit nights. And so, as the train journeyed on, its occupants were lulled into a state of dreamlike reverie, the outside world a silent whisper, tenderly wrapping around their hearts and minds. The journey felt infinite, yet intimately personal, as passengers became attuned to the subtle music of the world unfolding just beyond the window's glass. As the night train pressed on into the embrace of the evening, Ethan nestled further into his seat, the cushions molding to him like a long-forgotten hug. The cabin was a sanctuary of warmth and comfort, its ambience fostered by the soothing melodies that played softly in the background. Ethan's eyelids fluttered with the lull of the train, adjusting to the ebbing daylight and growing night. His fellow travelers shared this embrace of tranquility. Across the aisle, Margaret and Albert sat together like two halves of a well-worn quilt, content in their shared silence. Margaret softly hummed the tune to an old folk song, her mother used to sing, as Albert's chin dipped toward his chest, his breathing rhythmic and serene. The train's soft lighting echoed the hints of moonlight peeping through the partially drawn curtains, casting gentle shadows that seemed to sway in time with the train's gentle motion. Each passenger contributed in their own way to a symphony of subtle sounds, a page turning here, a gentle cough there, the collective inhalations and exhalations that merged into a breathing entity of shared existence. Clara allowed her thoughts to drift in lazy circles, buoyed by the comfort enveloping her seat. The lavender in her basket continued its delicate work, an aromatic balm to ease her into gentle reflection. From her bag, she withdrew a small notebook bound in green leather, its pages filled with scattered notes and idle sketches. She began to jot down snippets of thoughts, fragments of dreams, the ink revealing pathways even she hadn't expected to explore. Outside the window, the landscape seemed to have fallen still, the train threading its way carefully as if through the corridors of an ancient forest cathedral. There was something sacred about the night, its silence a tangible force that asked nothing more than to be quietly admired. Each passenger respected this unspoken request, allowing the wisdom of the darkened hours to wash over them, cleansing the mind like a gentle, steady rain. Ethan's gaze traced the outline of Margaret and Albert's clasped hands, the longevity of their union leaving him in quiet admiration. How calming it was to witness such lasting affection and shared ease. It made him think of possibilities and what the future might hold, a hope taking root in the back of his mind. The train continued, singing its metallic lullaby as it steadily moved through the landscape. In this shared space, time seemed no longer to march forward, instead wrapping itself around the travelers like a quilt, stitching moments into a pattern of dreams. From the cushioned cocoon of the cabin, each passenger embarked on an inward journey, their hearts and minds rejuvenated by the magical ambience that surrounded them. The train journeyed deeper into the night, tracing its way along rails that glowed softly in the moonlight, like silver threads woven into the earth's tapestry. Outside, the landscape whispered its secrets to those who cared to listen, the passengers sharing in this silent communion, wrapped in the spell of the gently rocking carriage. Ethan lay his head against the cool window glass, allowing his thoughts to ebb and flow as freely as the countryside unfurling outside. The scene was ever-changing, as though the night were a great artist and he a humble observer. In the darkness, the land breathed, alive with stories etched in the folds of fields and the silhouettes of distant hills. In this delicate realm, time felt suspended. Every mile marked a pause, as though nature held its breath, giving way to introspection and gently whispered dreams. The midnight world offered its shadows as a canvas where the imagination could play unfettered by the confines of daylight. Margaret found herself reminiscing about the landscapes they had traversed in the past. Memories stirred from years gone by as each new vista evoked a cherished moment. Her eyes softened with nostalgia, recognizing in these glimpses of the world snatches of a grander narrative, one that stretched across distance and time. Albert, drawn from his drowsy spell, observed the landscape with fresh eyes. His attention settled on a grove of trees standing tall against the expansive sky, as if ancient sentinels guarding treasures hidden beneath their roots. He thought of generations who had walked these lands, their lives interwoven with the earth beneath the train's iron trail. Meanwhile, Clara indulged in capturing the shifting sceneries with words and sketches in her notebook. Each line of text and flow of ink deepened her connection to the landscape, lending glimpses into an unfolding story she might one day revisit. Her heart embraced the night's mystery, a companion as soothing as the lavender scent that hung lightly in the air. Through fields blanketed in shadow, past streams that glimmered like fragments of liquid moonlight, the train ventured further. Its metal rhythm echoed gently through the countryside, an accompaniment to the landscape's silent symphony. Farm animals slumbered, tucked safely in their barns, while the night air carried the subtle fragrance of earthy renewal and renewal. The passengers, cradled by the train's movement, explored their own inner landscapes, their musings like scattered seeds taking root in the fertile ground of imagination. Together they shared in the secret wonders of the journey, bound by the unspoken understanding that the world's beauty whispers most clearly to those who journey quietly through its nocturnal heart. As the train negotiated gentle curves through the landscape's undulating contours, Ethan allowed his thoughts to meander along similar paths. Each bend in the track brought with it an invitation to explore the corners of his mind, where aspirations lay neatly waiting to be unraveled and examined in the soft glow of train-bound reflection. Margaret, alongside Albert, in their cocoon of warmth, gently nudged her partner awake. They shared a quiet exchange of knowing smiles, each content to continue this journey of a lifetime, each curve and turn an allegory for paths taken together. The creases of their hands were maps to shared adventures, storylines twined seamlessly by the years that lay behind them. Clara closed her notebook, her mind wandering again to thoughts that fluttered like moths seeking the light. She marveled at the serenity enveloping this nocturnal journey, certain that it would offer a revelation before night's end. With every jolt and sway, she found herself cradled deeper into the comfort of expectation and vivid possibility. Through patches of dense forests and open fields woven with starlight, the world outside remained cloaked, but not unfamiliar. A gentle fog began to creep from the low-lying hollows of the land, the train gliding through it as if entering a new dimension. The increased obscurity seemed a companion to the exploration of minds and hearts, aiding journeys within. For Albert, these multiplied paths fostered thoughts both profound and rudimentary. The hum of the train reminded him of his father's workshop, the engine's noise intertwined with recollections of youthful curiosities. He found solace in bringing these memories to the fore, their warmth fading into the contentment of the present. The night grew deeper and quieter, the train's ghostly silhouette coursing through shadowy lands. Within, the pulse of reflections and softly spoken exchanges enveloped the passengers in a timeless cocoon. This mysterious journey of curves and corners revealed a network of tender paths leading to ancient discoveries, awaiting the morning's moment of awakening. The atmospheric presence of the train carved each moment into an exquisite thread, woven into the tapestry of the night. Every traveler contributed to the narrative, their hushed thoughts forming intricate designs. In this shared space, each turn on the winding track became a part of their collective story, lending itself to the voyage unfolding on the velvety canvas of the night. The train continued its passage through the embrace of night, where darkness enfolded the passengers in a gentle, comforting shroud. As it journeyed deeper into the small hours, a rhythmic symphony guided heartbeats and thoughts alike, each note soothing and softening the edges of the waking world. Ethan found comfort in this cocoon of tranquility. Still gazing out of the window, he traced the landscape with his eyes, attuning his senses to the quiet symphony of night sounds. The gentle chug of the engine, the rustle of leaves, and an occasional cry of a night bird blended into an intricate medley that serenaded the hours away. Margaret and Albert leaned against one another, a portrait of enduring companionship, tired smiles gracing their tired faces. They felt the comfortable weight of precious years spent together, the night offering them the chance to reflect on cherished memories and shared dreams. Clara too embraced the quiet, feeling its tendrils wrapping around her, whispering stories of the distant lands passing unseen beyond the frosted glass. Her reflections hinted at adventures not yet embarked upon, each depicting paths she had not traveled but imagined vividly. The night journey was a gift, an opportunity to contemplate and consider under the calming vault of stars. Outside, the countryside sprawled like a sleeping giant, its shadows shifting slightly with the passage of the iron veins that coursed through it. The train, a mere speck of life in the grand canvas, continued unimpeded, layer after layer of silent stories mingling beneath its wheels. Inside, the carriage was peaceful, a haven for souls seeking rest and reverie. The passengers were united in their shared solitude, their minds adrift on reflections drawn from the well of quiet contemplation. Their whispered conversations wove a quiet tapestry, threads drawing them together, aligning stories into a gentle sonata. And so, the train's journey through night was a gentle embrace, a melodic river of rhythm that carried each traveler on their private voyage of dreams and hopes. In the sanctuary of the night, the veil of the familiar was lifted, the stories of the land outside joining those of each passenger to create a harmonious whole. The iron path gently curved forward, holding secrets of tomorrow, an unraveling journey slowly bringing the past, present, and future into a seamless tapestry of dreams. As the first faint hues of dawn gently caressed the edge of night, the passengers aboard the train found themselves roused from their peaceful slumber. The transition of darkness to light came not abruptly, but with delicate grace, adding a subtle glow to the world outside their windows, where shadows graced fields and hills with fleeting whispers. Ethan stirred, his mind slowly acclimating to the change in light as vibrant colors began to seep into the monochrome canvas of the night. The world beyond his window came alive with subtle detail, the contours and textures no longer hushed by shadow, but illuminated in the soft embrace of the burgeoning dawn. He welcomed it like an old friend, the promise of a new day rekindling the sense of wonder that accompanied every journey. Margaret too opened her eyes, greeted by the gentle transition from dreams to waking. She took Albert's hand once more, cherishing the feel of their shared warmth. As their train continued its journey, the smudged horizon began to take exquisite form, unveiling the sleeping world bathed in the dew of a hopeful morning. Together, Margaret and Albert acknowledged the allure of familiar destinations and whispered new beginnings. Clara awoke to find her basket still beside her, the sweet lavender scent embracing her as a reminder of home and hearth. Her heart began to dance lightly at the prospect of discoveries to come, an unknown that held both familiarity and thrilling speculation. With renewed energy, Clara placed her notebook back in her bag, its pages rich with dreams that promised futures yet to unfold. The train glided smoothly through the landscape, its path eased by rails glistening with the early morning light. Wisps of fog trailed after it, fading into obscurity as the sun began to creep over the horizon. Night gradually relinquished its hold on the scene, making way for the first rays of sunlight to reveal the bucolic beauty of the countryside. As the world awoke in chorus, a multitude of birds sang from the perches of sheltering trees, their voices joining to greet the new day with a joyful surge of sound. The landscape unfolded like a painter's canvas unfurling, every stroke vibrant with color and life. Farmhouses regained their shape in the morning light, their chimneys making the journey skyward with curls of smoke offering the promise of warmth. Amid the interplay of shadow and light, the passengers felt connected to the awakening world. With nature providing their visual symphony, they embraced the art of the dawn and its gentle whisper, welcoming another vivid chapter in the story of their shared journey. As the sun rose higher, casting golden light over fields and forests, the landscape gradually morphed, unwrapping hidden beauty to those aboard the night train. Colors bloomed with each mile, flowers unfurling petals in celebration, while shadows slipped quietly into alcoves for the day ahead. Ethan, reinvigorated by the sight of new horizons stretching out before him, allowed his thoughts to turn toward possibilities yet untapped. With each new view painted by dawn's brush, he felt the pull of travel and adventure, curious about the uncharted journeys that might await him on distant shores. The land unfurled in rhythm with the train, igniting in him a fervor for paths unknown, for stories untold. Margaret and Albert shared a companionable silence, watching the train wind its way through vibrant greens and sun-dappled blues. The valley around them awoke with a tranquil song, a living lullaby that invited peaceful exploration. Their hearts danced with recognition, each sweep of the view a reminder of the bond they cherished and the journey they continued to embrace. Clara breathed in deeply, the scent of the morning air intertwining with lavender to create a perfume of optimism. She opened her notebook once more, inspired by the scene outside her window. Her thoughts flowed freely onto fresh pages, chronicling the splendor that unfolded with each passing moment. This morning light offered her an unexpected gift, a horizon painted with the promise of new adventures, encouraging her to journey forth with an open heart. The train, ever steady, navigated its way along tracks lined with emerald grass and through forests dappled with the sun's gentle caress. Villages passed by, their red-tiled roofs glistening in the burgeoning light, while narrow roads wound their way towards larger towns cradled against the distant hills. As the journey continued, the countryside provided a feast for the eyes, a land brimming with vibrancy and life waking to drink in the day's golden promise. Streams shimmered in sunlight, trickling harmonies to greet the waking travelers, while distant mountaintops whispered their ancient secrets from beneath the misty embrace of the retreating fog. In this new dawn, the night train embraced each turn of the wheels, joining the passengers in breathing life into the tapestry of quiet dreams. As the train rolled on, unveiling the wonders found in unison with the first light, a shared sense of anticipation grew among the travelers. They might part ways at the journey's end, but their memories of this slow trip on the night train would retain their undeniable bond, carrying them onward to paths etched in time and illuminated by hope. The horizon unfolded, radiant in the dawn light, as the night train prepared to reach its destination. The journey through the velvet-blanketed night had been a slow weaving of stories, each traveler cradled in its gentle embrace. Now, In the presence of daylight, they prepared to step forward into the waiting arms of a new day. Ethan's mind felt clear, refreshed by the starlit hours of reflection that gave way to the vibrant dawn. He gathered his belongings, each moment still resonating within him like a favorite melody that lingered long after its final fading notes. The night train had become a cherished sanctuary, one he vowed to revisit in future journeys of the heart and soul. Margaret and Albert glanced lovingly at one another, hearts brimming with gratitude for this timeless journey taken side by side. This slow passage through the night had enriched their understanding and hallowed their shared path, inviting them to savor the moments they would continue to build together, intimately familiar while always new. Gathering her things, Clara allowed the fragrance of lavender to wrap around her senses one last time, a familiar comfort lending her confidence to embrace the unknown. The train's passage had given birth to fresh starts and renewed hopes, its quiet journey inviting her to dream while awake. Her heart swelled, eager to explore the whispered promise of the dawn. The passengers made their way toward the train's doors, as if milling through time's delicate veil to begin anew. The station, dappled in morning light, emerged and came alive with sounds, a choir of bustling energy blending with the comforting echo of the iron track. As they descended the steps to solid ground, each traveler carried more than their belongings. They held the gentle, lingering magic of a night train journey strung between stars. The journey had deepened their understanding, drawing together threads of dreams and reality in the gentle embrace of the night. With every footstep, the adventures and reflections they had encountered mingled with the whisper of new paths under a brightening sun, inviting them to continue forward, awakened and renewed. The accompanying dawn embraced their hearts and minds, guiding them towards new beginnings with kind invitations. Together, they left the night train behind, each carrying within a part of their shared voyage. In the subtle hush of morning, as the train prepared to move on and the station hummed with the promise of day, the passengers departed, cradling in their hands the art of a night slowed down, a quiet symphony of dreams woven slowly through the stars.